You've probably heard this before. Learn Python or just use AI. Coding is dead. It's all about prompts and programming in English now. And now you're torn. Do you learn the syntax first or do you let AI write your code? I'm sure you will agree on two things. One, learning coding the traditional way helps you build logic and fundamentals. And two, if you don't adapt to AI, you will be left behind. And you want to do this the right way. But no one agrees on what the right means anymore. What if I offer you a third path? One that actually teaches you how code works while still using AI to help you move faster. I've spent over a decade building and launching real-world tech products, and along the way, I've helped a lot of people break in and grow their careers in tech. So whether you're preparing for your first job or looking to grow in your career, subscribe so you can get the real-world advice that you can apply right away. Now for a second, let's look at what your workload would actually look like if you try to learn Python the traditional way. Learning Python the old-fashioned way is like being taught how to use a hammer by memorizing the periodic table of elements first, which you learned in the high school chemistry class. Yes, learning periodic table tells you a lot about iron in the hammer, but useless for what you actually need the hammer for. Here is how it goes. Maya starts with syntax, variables, loops, conditions, and then she moves on to functions and classes. She practices puzzles-like exercises, but nothing tied to real problems. And by the end, she's memorized a bunch of commands but still struggles when it's time to build something from scratch. Now compare that to learning with the AI. Switching to AI assistant Python is like starting a video game on guided mode. You will get hints when you need, but you are still holding the controller, you're still playing the game, and more importantly, you learn by doing. But before we dive in, let's get a few things in place. First, pick an AI code assistant. It could be Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, Windsurf, Cursor, doesn't really matter. My advice will work no matter which one you choose. Because we're not focusing on features, we're focusing on three principles. These three principles that you will follow every single time you sit down to learn with AI. And the principles are the broken toaster principle, the teddy bear principle, the sofa shuffle principle. So let's start with the first one. Let's say you want to toast a slice of bread in your toaster. You won't read the toaster manual even for fun. You will likely read it when your bagel keeps getting stuck every morning or the toaster will not turn on at all. Learning works better when it's tied to a real need. When something breaks, your brain naturally craves for a solution and the knowledge. The broken toaster principle means you begin your learning with a problem that actually matters to you, even if it's small. The need to solve it drives the curiosity drives the learning. So start with the real use case. So you've got a folder full of image files. Some end in capital JPG, while others end in lowercase .jpg. And for some reason, the photo editing tool that you always want to use only accepts the lowercase. Of course, you could rename the files manually or fix it in Python. And that is your problem or your broken toaster. It's small, specific, and just annoying enough that you care about solving it. So instead of starting with the tutorial on data types and loops, open your AI coding assistant and type write Python code that renames all uppercase files in the folder to all lowercase extensions. You will immediately get a complete program that works. And in that moment, seeing the files renamed automatically, something clicks. You just use AI to do something useful. And that's the point of the broken toaster principle. Start with the thing that is not working and let AI help you solve something real, even if you don't fully understand the code yet. Oh, by the way, if this is helping you out, please like and subscribe. It tells me to make more videos like this. And if you got a question or a different take, drop it in the comments. I'm always curious to see what you think. And that brings us to our principle number 2, the teddy bear principle. Let's say your friend is baking cake and calls you for help. Over the phone, you're not going to say, well, mix some flour and eggs and throw it in the oven, right? You need to walk through the full sequence. Preheat the oven, sift the flour, beat the eggs, grease the foil, and put it in the oven. You only realize what you truly understand is when you're forced to explain it step by step. And that's the teddy bear principle. Meaning, once AI gives you working code, your job is to slow down and explain what each part is doing, as if you're teaching it to someone who knows nothing at all. It could be a friend, a voice note, or literally a teddy bear on your desk. The key is, when you try to explain in simple terms, you quickly spot the parts you don't really understand yet. Remember, you just use AI to generate a script that renames all the files in a folder. That code works. Now you need to stop and explain how that code actually works line by line. This isn't just about repeating what AI gave you, it's about translating the code into your own words. And if you stumble, that's good. That means you found a gap worth filling. For example, you might say, this line uses os.listdir to get all the files in the folder. It returns a list of file names. Then move to the next line. This condition checks if a file name ends with the uppercase file extension, which tells the script which files need renaming. And then rename is what actually changes the file name on the disk. It builds a new name by replacing the file extension and tells the operating system to rename it. You can also ask yourself questions as you go. Why is the ends with check important? What would happen if a file already ends in lowercase? Does the script assume that all files are in the same directory? Could this break if there is a file name conflict? This is where you shift from passively consuming to actively owning the logic. Even if you think you fully understand the code AI generated, you're not done yet. We need to put it to test. And hey, if this all feels a bit overwhelming, I get it. I've been right there where you are. That's why I put together a free guide and worksheet to help you figure out the best role for you and prep without wasting weeks on stuff you don't need. Grab it from the link in the description. It's totally free, and honestly, it will save you a ton of time. Let's say you are arranging your living room and the layout doesn't feel quite right. So you nudge the sofa 6 inches to the left just to see if the space works better. Obviously, you did not build the room from scratch, just like you didn't write the code yourself, but you can tweak it. The sofa shuffle principle means changing the problem incrementally to deepen your understanding. You take a working AI-generated code and change one piece at a time, like tweaking the inputs, tweaking the logic or the structure to see what breaks, what still works. Each change reveals how the system behaves, and that builds your intuition. So let's go back to the Python program you and the AI wrote together, the one that renamed all the files. Now let's make a small change. Ask yourself, what if I also want to rename .png files? You tweak the condition or ask the AI, update the code to handle both the JPEG as well as the PNG files. Now the code does a bit more, and you are steering the change. Next, you test what happens with the subfolder. If it breaks, ask, why does it fail with subfolders? Rewrite it to skip the folders. And then you try edge cases. What if two files would get the same name? What if the file have spaces or special characters? Each change is a 6-inch sofa shuffle. Not a full rewrite, but just enough to make you think. And that's how you move from running code to understanding design patterns. And with each change, ask the AI, why did this work? What's changed in this version? And that's the sofa shuffle principle. Now, Python is only the starting point. It's just one tool, but still just a piece of the puzzle. If you want to grow into an AI engineer, you need more than syntax and scripts. You will need to understand how systems fit together, how to use AI to build, automate, and ship real products. But here is the catch. There are dozens of tutorials and tools out there, but only a handful of skills actually move you closer to a high-paying AI role. So what should you focus on after Python? And that's what we're going to cover in the next video, the AI Engineer Roadmap. I'll walk you through the key skills, tools, and mindset that matter and what most people completely get wrong. I'll see you there.